How can you build a loving relationship? Well, you can do it by learning skills. The Frantz Lamour Show is designed to equip you with counseling skills and biblical principles to help you learn how to build and maintain a loving relationship. As a mental health counselor, a doctoral candidate in marriage and family at Liberty University, an author of many books about loving relationships, and a pastor, Frantz can definitely help you learn counseling skills and biblical principles to build the loving relationship you so deserve. Search for Frantz Lamour at Amazon to find his books about building loving relationships. And now, here is Frantz Lamour for another great presentation about loving relationships.
Hello, family of love. Thank you once again for allowing me to come into your homes to bring the message of love. There is so many negativity in our society today. I choose not to add to it. I'm a vessel of love. I want to promote love in my relationships, to experience love, because love makes me live better. With love, I function well. So today we're going to talk about love. Yeah, love. My love for you. This is your show, the Frantz Lamour Show. Today we're going to talk about something very, very significant. The cost of a loving relationship. The cost of a loving relationship. The cost of a loving relationship. So, everything valuable costs something. You cannot have something valuable without paying a price. To have something valuable, to enjoy and maintain, there is a cost associated with it. Likewise, building a loving relationship requires that you pay a cost. If you are in a relationship and you want it to be loving, then both of you must be willing to pay the price. So today, I want to help you learn a skill, and I would like you to use it to build a loving relationship with your partner. The first cost to pay to build a loving relationship is this: you are my treasure. Yeah? This is fundamental in building a loving relationship. How you perceive your partner. You are my treasure. Well, look at your partner right now. If your partner is with you, or text your partner, let your partner know that he or she is your treasure. You are my treasure. What is a treasure? A treasure is something very much valued. Something very much valued. So to say to your spouse, you are my treasure, is another way of saying you are someone of very much valued to me. You are someone of very much valued to me. So how can you treasure your spouse? find the value of your spouse and appreciate it is important. Every partner is valuable, but some relationships fail to identify that concept of value. So I'm going to share with you 3 ways you can treasure your spouse. I use it. It works for me. I am in a relationship with my wife. I am not claiming that our relationship is always loving. There are times where I do not value my wife the way I should. Then what do? I step back, I identify the problem, we're brainstorming on solutions to get back on the loving track, because love is good. 3 ways to treasure your spouse. First, to treasure your spouse is to value your spouse very much. When you treasure someone, what do? You say it to the person. You say it. When you value someone, what do? You spread the word in the community. You talk with your friends about it. You share what you value on social media. Verbalize to your spouse how much you love your spouse is building and maintaining a culture of treasuring each other and the relationship. You are a peculiar treasure to me, my love. You are my treasure, and I am your treasure. And because I am your treasure, I am valuable and helpful to you. Because you are my treasure, you are valuable and helpful to me. Second, to treasure your wife or your husband is to keep your partner in your heart wherever you go. The heart follows its treasure. So where your heart is, there also is your treasure, said Jesus Christ. Because my spouse is my treasure, she is the only one in my heart. My heart has room for only my wife because she is my treasure. Your heart should have room for only your partner, your fiancé, your husband, your wife, the person that you intend to get married with. The person that you are with right now should be the only person in your heart. I keep my spouse in my heart. Why? To nurture and cherish her because she is my treasure. Is there still room in your heart for your partner? If you say yes, then your love is strong and pure. You cannot have many lovers in your heart. You will break your spouse's heart into pieces, and that is unhealthy for you. Loving relationships work when we both understand we have one heart and there is room in my heart only for my partner. Third, to treasure your partner is to spend money for your partner. What does it cost you to have a loving relationship? It takes money to build a loving relationship. A loving relationship needs a house. Yeah. Love cannot be on the street. Love should be in a place we call home, where two lovers agree to build a loving relationships. It takes money to build a loving relationship, because a loving relationship needs a home. A loving relationship needs food. A loving relationship needs transportation. It requires money to build a loving relationship. A loving relationship needs regular maintenance to function well. The same way your car needs maintenance, your loving relationship needs maintenance. You can do it by going on a couple retreat, by reading a book together. You have to refill the tank of love to maintain it. You cannot run your life on yesterday love. Love has to be maintained, and it has to be constant every day. Cost means the price, value, or equivalent of something purchased, the amount and value paid. The word cost is equally applicable to the price in money you spend for your spouse in your relationship. A treasure is often very expensive. To treasure my partner is to spend money for my partner. Spending money for your partner is, by the way, the least you can do. The least you can do is to spend money for your partner. Why is the least you can do? Because there is a greater cost to pay to build a loving relationship. The greater cost is to give yourself to your spouse completely. Being willing to give yourself for your spouse. Jesus said there is no greater love than when someone lays down his life for his friends. Do you consider your spouse to be your best friend? Well, if that is the case, your spouse is your treasure, therefore you are willing to die for your spouse. Jesus loved his wife, the church. He gave himself for her. Giving yourself to your partner determines the level of your commitment to the relationship and your love for your partner. Why should you treasure your spouse? You need to understand why you should treasure your spouse, because treasuring your spouse is the foundation of your relationship. Here's why. That's the only option that you have to make your relationship loving. Treasure your spouse. Don't choose the other option. You say, what is the other option? Well, actually, you have two options available to you.
7 life-giving words to live your best life is a blueprint to help you live what you deserve, your best life. As a licensed psychotherapist, author Frantz Lamour witnesses firsthand the effort it takes to rise above everything that keeps us down. We want to live our best life, but we don't know how. Just when we're about to give up, we discover hope and guidance in God's life-giving words. Through 7 practical lessons and relevant scriptures on words of love, forgiveness, healing, salvation, peace, and grace, 7 life-giving words to live your best life will breathe new energy into your daily walk and help you master the art of living your best life.
regard to building a relationship. Number one, you can choose to treasure your spouse by doing some of the things that I share with you. Yeah, that's one choice. You can choose to treasure your spouse. This option is for people like you who's watching my show. Loving people like you who are committed to build loving relationships. Listen to me carefully. The second option is you can choose to trash your spouse. Yeah, you can choose. It's a choice. You can choose to trash your spouse or to treasure your spouse. But if you choose to trash your spouse, what the end result will be? What do we do with trash? We throw it away. Then you're going to throw away your relationship that you work so hard to have. Why would you do that? You spend so many years together. You spend a lot on each other, and then you trashing each other to throw away your relationship. Don't do it. Stop doing it. Love takes away many headaches in relationships. Domestic violence is gone when love is practiced. Verbal, emotional, and physical abuse are no longer part of a relationship where two people decide to be loving, where two people treasure each other. You treasure your partner when you value your partner. You are someone of very much value to me. My darling, my love, whatever names you both choose for each other, practice it daily. You either treasure your spouse or you trash your spouse. I encourage you to take the high road by choosing to treasure one another. Why? Because you want to build a loving relationship. You cannot expect to have a loving relationship if you choose to trash each other every day. Some relationships fails because the couples did not count the cost of building a loving relationship. Other relationships don't work because the couples are unwilling to treasure one another. Jesus said in Luke chapter 14, verse 28 to 30, "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, 'The man began to build and was not able to finish.'" How many relationships started well, but the couples are not able to finish well? You know why? They didn't count the cost of building a loving relationship. Nothing significant happens by chance. It takes commitment, hard work to build a loving relationship. Are you among the couples who did not count the cost of building and living in a loving relationship? Are you among the couples who counted the cost of the wedding Yeah, we're good at that. But not the cost of building a loving relationship. Today, you learn 3 ways you can build a loving relationship. Treasure your spouse. Begin to start treasuring your spouse today. Yeah, you say, what did you say? Yeah, begin to treasure your spouse today. How do I do that? Well, it's not complicated, but it requires your commitment to do it if you truly want to build a loving relationship. So what do I do? Well, here's what you can do. Number 1, be careful with what you say to your spouse every day. Words matter. You want to build a loving relationship? Well, make sure you choose loving words to value one another. The power of death and life is where? And what you say to each other every day. You either bring life to your relationship, you can either keep your relationship alive with what you say, or you tear it down every day with the words that you speak in your conversations with your spouse. The mouth that's kissing its partner should not be the same mouth that you use to denigrate your partner. This is unacceptable. Love and your heart will not allow you to do so. So be careful with what you say to one another every day. Perhaps your spouse is withdrawn from you because of something you said. Like I told you, my relationship with my wife is not always loving, but when I notice that it's not loving, we work together. We identify the problem and we brainstorming on solving the solutions because we value one another. Second, be careful on how you conduct yourself in the relationship. Your attitude, your behaviors matter. How you behave in the house matters. What you say to your spouse matters. Third, do loving deeds for one another every day. It's worth working together to build a loving relationship. Are you with me? Say, yes, I am with you. Because love is wonderful. It's great. It's beautiful. Use what you learn today to treasure your spouse. And share what you learn today with others so that together we can build loving relationships. We can focus on creating a culture of building and maintaining loving relationships. Why? For ourselves, our children, other couples, our churches, our community, and our country. The first cost to build a loving relationship is to treasure your spouse. You are my treasure. How do you do it? Value your spouse. Your spouse needs to know she is someone of very much value. He is someone of very much value. Second, your spouse needs to know that there is room in your heart only for your spouse. Because you don't want to break your spouse's heart. Third, because you value your spouse, you spend money for your spouse. That's the least you can do for someone that you value. The greatest cost is to give your life for your spouse. May God help you and I learn how to build loving relationships. May you and I allow God to produce love in our relationships so that other people can see His presence in our relationships. Loving each other reveals God. Treasure your spouse. Do not trash your spouse. Treasure your spouse with love. Stop abusing your spouse with your mouth, with your hands. Use your mouth, use your heart, use every part that God gives you to treasure your spouse. And if you have failed to treasure your spouse with love, you know what you can do? Stop everything that you are doing. Engage in a meaningful conversation with your spouse. Confess what you have done wrong and ask for forgiveness, and promise your spouse, with God's help, you will never do it again. If you love my show, you appreciate what you are learning, share it with somebody else. Join the team of promoting love so we can have a society where we value each other. See you next time. Love you.
When difficult situations threaten to weaken the strength of your family, you need a solid structural foundation of leadership. Family leadership in times of crisis provides this foundation through 5 practical principles, relevant scriptures, counseling skills, techniques, and biblical teaching to equip you and your family with the skills to successfully navigate any crisis. With good family leadership, we can push for greater justice and racial equality in the United States and around the world, and maintain a more just and loving humanity. Family leadership is even more essential during times of crisis, such as the COVID-19 pandemic.